Ladies and gentlemen, champion dog musher and wilderness guide, Brent Sass.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rob, for champion. Wow, that's a big word. I got to live up to that now. Thanks a lot for having us. When I first said I'd come do this, Rob said, just tell your favorite story. And I started going, favorite story? Geez, there's a million of them, How do you pick a favorite story? But there was one story that really always comes to the front of my head every time someone asks me to tell a funny story or a story about Alaska or a story about how I got started in Alaska. And I came to Alaska 14 years ago with one goal, to live and be an Alaskan. And so it took me a long time. For 4 years, I went to the university and didn't really enjoy it that much. I wanted to go out into the woods, and I wanted to go out and do things in the wilderness, and I was kind of a city guy, but I wanted to go do this stuff. And I was in the Boy Scouts when I was a kid, but I didn't really ever get to be Alaskan until I came to Alaska. So I came here, and I did some things for a few years, and then I said, I'm just going to go start doing this stuff, and I had to find some buddies to go do it. And I got this group of couple guys together, and we decided that we were going to go up north, way up north, and we were going to try and shoot some caribou. And we didn't really have any idea what we were doing, but we were going to try it. And these guys, they're two of my best friends now. One of them is, he's a guy that I've done hundreds of trips with since that time. So Josh, I'm going to say it, Josh Horst, you guys probably all know him. Matt Fravor is the other guy in the story here. You guys probably know these guys. So we drive all the way up the Hall Road. We got a skidoo, one of those flatback canoes, more stuff than you can imagine, a little motor. And our whole plan is to go to Happy Valley. It's up on the Hall Road, and we're going to park there. We're going to just motor up the Sag River. Someone said it was a big river, but we figured we could make it in this canoe. So we get going, and we get there. We unload all of our stuff, and we put it all in there, and we're like, okay, where are we fitting? Where are we gonna go in this canoe now? I guess we wanted to be prepared, and that's a good thing, right? You got to be prepared. But being prepared, we were really prepared. We had the kitchen sink, and we were going into the middle of the wilderness. I was used to camping out of the truck, and so there was a transition zone, but we were learning. So we got in. I said, we're just gonna make it happen. Get on top of that stuff, Matt. So Matt is in the middle, Josh is up in the front. He has a little hole to put his legs into so he can get kind of low. Matt's like sitting on top of bags in the middle of this canoe, and we push it out into this river, and it's a big river. And we get it out there, and those guys get in, and we push off into this river. And at this point, we've got about an inch of freeboard. An inch, maybe an inch. And these guys are like, oh God, what are we doing? What are we doing, Brent? I'm like, don't look at me. I'm not the leader here. We're doing this together, but I'm going to make you do it. We're not turning around now. We just drove 300 miles up this road. So they believed in me, and I said, let's do it. We got in. I hit the gas on the 5-horse motor. We're going up the Sag River now. 5-horse motor. And we look over on the bank as we're going up this river, and we're not moving forward, basically. It's the current is too much, and we got too much, and these guys are like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like they're bracing, because if they move in one way or the other, we're going in the river, and you've never heard from Brent, Josh, or Matt ever again, because we were done. So plan B had to come up real fast. We were not going to give up. So we picked a spot to go over. It's kind of a cut bank on the shore, so we motor over there. I was able to go a little bit, cross current. Got over there, slammed the boat up against the river, and or the bank, and I'm flooring the motor now, because if you don't floor it, you just continue, you go back down the river. So I'm flooring them like, get out, get out, get out, get out, So they jump out, nothing. Josh brought his gun, and Matt had some bear spray. So, but that was it. They had that in their pocket. They got off, and So now I shove back out, and I'm like, with your guys' weight on the bank, you guys just walk up the bank. We only got 2 miles. You can walk up the bank. The idea was we were going to motor up this river and then line the canoe another 5 miles up some other river. in order to shoot some caribou and then come back down. So I figured they can walk the 2 miles. I'll get in the river, and we'll be able to start making some good tracks. So I push back out in the river, and we're all joyous, and I'm making a little bit of progress. The bank they're walking much faster than I'm going, but but we're making progress. So I'm excited. They're excited. You know, we're doing it. We're out in the wilderness. There is not a soul for, I don't know, there may have been someone around the corner, but we felt like we were in the middle of nowhere. And I look up, and I'm just scanning the tundra and the willows and all this beautiful, beautiful Alaska, and then I see a large grizzly bear, and it's a ways away. It's probably 100 yards up, kind of on this little plateau, overlooking my buddies that are walking on the bank now. And I'm like, bear, and they're like, yeah, let's do this. And I'm like, no, bear. So finally, I get their attention. They look up, and like their excitement goes from, what are we gonna do? What are we doing, Brent? What are we gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you want to get back in the boat, or do you want to take your chances with the grizzly bear right now? And the grizzly bear's a long ways away at this point, and I'm kind of like, just deal with the grizzly bear, guys, and we'll keep an eye on it. But they're like, get over here. So I motor over to the side, and again, slam the boat into the side of the bank, revving it as fast as I could, as hard as I could. Otherwise, I was gonna go away again. And I was like, Matt, grab that rope on the front of the boat. He turns on to grab the boat, and I hear tss. I heard the tss, right? The wind blows, and I got bear spray in my face, right? I hit the deck. I'm in the boat. I'm in the bottom of the boat now, coughing. But it was just a mild spat, It wasn't too bad. But I'm like, I can't see right now, and the boat is now flung all the way back around on the other side of the bank, and I'm leaning the other way, and Josh is out there with his gun going, what are we gonna do? And Matt's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I don't care, where's the bear? How are we gonna keep moving forward? I'm rubbing my eyes out. Like I said, it was a pretty mild, spray. So we sort of adjust, and the bear has now moved probably another 25 yards closer, 30 yards closer to us. And at that point, I was like, what do you guys want to do? You want to get back in the boat, or do you want to keep on the shore? And they were both like, I think we should get in the boat. And I said, I don't think we should get in the boat, because we're all three gonna die if we go in this boat right now. We have a fighting chance against this grizzly bear. So I'm in the boat, and we need to get them in the boat. They think they need to get in the boat. And I was like, no, we're not going to get in the boat. Let's just push me back out, and I'll stay close to shore, and we'll watch this grizzly bear. In the meantime, we're having this conversation. The bear's getting closer and closer and closer, and he's probably like 45 yards away now, standing up, looking at us. And in the process, we're still slammed against the river. There's a raging river going on right here. We're kind of yelling at each other. I know these guys pretty well, but this is like the beginning, right? This is the beginning. You spend all your time out in the wilderness with people, and I hadn't spent a second in the wilderness with these people. And so we didn't have like a real good way to communicate. So in the end, I just said, push me out again. So I went and told Matt to use the paddle to push me out. He pushed me out, but in the same motion, he was still holding the bear spray, and as he pushed out, he completely like a 4-second spray right into my face. So now I've fallen back into the bottom of the boat, and Josh and Matt are on the bank. Are you okay? Josh has dropped his gun. I'm starting to kind of float down into this little eddy here. I'm in the boat. I'm coughing. I see nothing at this point. My eyes are completely red. And so we get off to the side, and we I'm like, I need to get out of this boat. Like, I can't see anything. If someone else is going to have to drive the boat if we're going to do this. So I get out, and we're all sitting around, and Matt is just so scared that I'm just going to just clock him, you know, because I just got sprayed twice with bear spray in a matter of about 4 minutes. And so I'm like, don't worry about it, Matt. Don't worry about it. Where's that bear? Where's that bear? You know, like, these two are so concerned with me, and I'm like, well, now the bear has gotten time to, like, you know, get closer and closer and closer, and we're worried about me and my bear spray, and we all three kind of look up, and I don't see very well at this point. My eyes are just, you know, exploding, and but I do see a little bit, and we all look up, and there's this bear, and I'm not. This is God's honest truth. He stands up on his hind legs at about 35 yards away. This is a big bear, and at 35 yards, you're like, he could just come and eat us right now. And he got up, and he literally looked at us, shook his head, said, "Stupid humans," went back on all four legs, and just sauntered off away. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we survived the bear encounter, guys. Do you want to continue? And I think I had sort of taken the sails. We had all the sails were sort of out and out of our big party, and we decided to pack it up and go home. But my eyes watering to death. Somebody else. We actually pulled the canoe back up the river. We didn't really want to get into it anymore. But I mean, the moral of the story is that you got to have a beginning somewhere, right? And you got to take chances, and you got to go adventure. That's what Alaska's for, and that's the reason I moved to Alaska. And so we talked about it the whole way back home in the truck. Like, we made mistakes before we left Fairbanks. We had the biggest train wreck before we left Fairbanks, all the way up the Hall Road with the canoe, with the bear. You know, but we had the time of our life, and we just made the greatest adventure story you could possibly have. And Josh and I, my buddy there, and Matt was a little bit a part of it, he was still said, we can never tell this story, you guys. We can never, ever tell this story. And I said, I'm telling this story to everyone I know, Matt. Only because it's the beginning of a huge epic adventure for all three of us. And I told them, and I was like, I'm going to continue making these stories and live in Alaska and learn from Alaska. You have to respect Alaska. That's the biggest thing that I learned from that story and everything else. Be prepared, but respect Alaska, and she'll give so much back to you. I've had so much adventures in Alaska, and just do it. That's the biggest thing I can leave here with tonight. Just do it. Thank you very much.
Brent Sass. My money's on Brent Sass as the next Quest champion. We'll see if he can pull it off.